You don't have no questions, sis?
Not at the moment. I'm gonna think.
Come on, now you know the whole Bible. I can't believe it.
No, I definitely don't know the whole Bible.
So that's what confuses me. I open the floor for any question whatsoever throughout the whole Bible, and oftentimes I'm stuck wondering like, damn, why aren't there any questions? You're here because you recognize that what you've been taught is a total goddamn fabrication of the truth. I hope so. In Christianity, yes or no? Do you believe in the Christian church, in this doctrine, in this philosophy? Do you believe in it? My red loved to be checked. She loved me to check her ass. That's why she came in here with her hair uncovered, because she wanted me to cut her ass again. She loved it. Right? So what I'm saying is this right here: the Christian church is the entity that gave us white Jesus, Cedric Borgia. Is that the description of Christ in the Bible? Of that image that you've always saw? Is that his description in the Bible? She says yes. The sister in here, hold on, sis, hold on. In her mind, that is the description. When I say Jesus Christ, what comes to mind? Who? I need you to speak up.
A white man.
Yeah, goddamn white man. When I say Jesus Christ, the image that pop up in all of our head, I still have to smack myself some goddamn time. Because we've been force-fed Cedric Borgia all our lives. And the first image that comes to our mind when we hear Jesus the Christ is that effeminate looking, long, stringy, is it blonde or strawberry blonde or whatever the hell he got going on. Look gay as hell, right? That image comes to our mind. But that's not the description that's displayed in the Bible, right? You agree or not?
I was never taught about it.
You're the exception to the rule. Us niggas in here. Us niggas in here, like you, what tribe you from? You an Ephraimite? You from Ephraim?
Yes, I don't want
Okay, you an Ephraimite, right? So maybe it was different with you Ephraimites, but us niggas was taught that Cedric Borgia. Excuse me?
I went to a Baptist church. But we're not taught that out in New England. We're taught in black.
You've been taught your whole life that Jesus Christ was a black man? You're the exception.
I never met anybody that thought he was a white.
Let me tell you something. You know what's baffling to me? I've had interactions with you. If you thought Jesus Christ looked like me, you would treat me different. You see what I'm saying? You would see me different. Like when you see your brother as Jesus Christ, little brother, you tend to respect him in such a way that indicates I recognize you as from the tribe of Judah. But you treat me like just any old nigga. Hold on, Slocky. We ain't gonna get off into that right now. But the sister said when she hear the name Jesus Christ invoked, the first image coming to her mind is Cedric Borgia, right? Cedric Borgia was the son of the 6th Pope of Rome, Rodrigo Borgia. He was the son of Rodrigo Borgia, the 6th Pope of Rome, right? Cedric became infatuated with his sister, right? And murdered his sister, and then incestuous rage, he murdered his sister. Later to become, I'm gonna let you in 1 second. Later to become a lover of Leonardo da Vinci, who painted like the 16th Chapel and a whole bunch of, like it's a whole host of pictures right now of paintings that this man is responsible for, that invokes the image of what the European society call the first family and Christ and Mary, etc. So when you hear the word, the name Jesus Christ, and that image that pops in your head, it's really an image of the lover of a homosexual murderer, incestuous murderer, named Cedric Borgia. You wanted to add some more to that before I move forward?
Count on what count.
Go ahead.
Rodrigo Borgia
Mm-hmm.
is his original name. He became Pope Alexander VI
Mm-hmm.
of that name. You would know him as Pope Alexander VI. He had a daughter who Cesare, his son, his fourth-born son. He didn't murder her, he raped her.
Mm-hmm.
He murdered his brother, Juan.
Slocket Khan. He did murder his brother Juan.
He murdered his brother Juan so that he can get at his sister.
Because obviously Juan was trying to protect the sister from this incestuous bastard. Go ahead.
And as you said, you also pointed out that he became infatuated with the greatest artist of that time, even, who painted his sister as Marie Antoinette and Mary,
Mm-hmm.
painted Cesare
Mm-hmm.
as Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and his name was Leonardo da Vinci. This was his homosexual love.
Khan.
So when white folk, when people today bow down to that image of who they call Jesus Christ
Khan.
from the Christian church, they're bowing down to a murderous, incestuous, rapist.
Also, find for me the covenant between Israel and the Most High in the beginning through Moses. Keep going, please.
Rapist,
Quickly.
homosexual, who did everything against the, went against, just in his existence, he existed against all the laws and statute commandments of the Most High.
The covenant. Find me the covenant where Moses sprinkled the blood on the walls and on the people and on the altar. Give me that right there. It's in,
And that,
is that in Deuteronomy or is it Deuteronomy or Exodus? One of the two.
I want to say Exodus.
Okay, give me that right there.
Late Exodus.
But to the brother's point, right? That image that is invoked when you hear Jesus Christ is not the image of Christ as it is depicted in the Bible. Give me Revelations, not the Zah.
Okay.
Revelations, the first chapter.
Oh,
Revelations 1, matter of fact, 1.
okay, sir.
Let me know when you got those precepts on the covenant that I'm asking.
Sir.
You got it?
Exodus 24 and 8.
Hold that right quick. Go ahead, Natazar.
Come on, sir. Revelations 1 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Hold on. The revelations of who?
Jesus Christ.
What does revelation mean, sister? You.
Sorry.
Uh-huh. What does the word revelation mean? Say again. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, sister. You know?
No, I don't.
Do you know, sister?
To reveal.
Labaya, do you know?
To reveal.
To reveal. The word revelations mean to reveal. So this is John. This is the book of this is John revelations that he received on a prison colony called Patmos. All right. It's an island somewhere back in the day where the Romans sent you. If you was a hell of a murderer and a criminal, they would exile you to this goddamn island right here. John found himself in such a court, man, and he was sentenced to the island of Patmos indefinitely for his work in Christ. All right, and on this prison colony, he received a vision, a revelation. Right, read it one more time.
Come on, sir. Revelations 1 and 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. So obviously, we about to reveal something about who? That's right. We about to tell you something about Jesus Christ that you don't know about. We about to make you hip to what's really going on as it relates to the Bible, the truth about the Bible. Keep going.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. These things that John is about to reveal to you will and must come to pass. All
All right, jump down to verse 13.
Come on, concert. Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
Go ahead.
one like unto the Son of Man.
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks represented the spirit of Mashiach Yahushua, whose name is relevant to Jesus Christ. All right. So in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, you done? Read it again.
Come on, concert. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
So in the midst of the 7 candlesticks represent the 7 churches that Paul built: Corinth, Galatia, etc. All right, keep going.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So they're revealing that in the midst of these 7 candlesticks, read that part again, back up a sentence or two. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
Come on.
go ahead.
One like unto the Son of Man.
One like unto the Son of Man. That's Christ. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment
Clothed with a garment. Go ahead.
down to the foot.
Now you might see us sometimes rocking a garment, and the length of it is all the way down to our feet. All right, go ahead.
And girt about the paps.
And he had around his midsection was a war belt. The girth about the path is a war belt that Christ rocked in John's vision. Go ahead.
With a golden girdle.
Go ahead.
His head and his hairs.
So his head and his hairs, meaning the hair on the top of his head and his hairs were what?
White like wool.
You might see it like some of my 2-3 of my whiskers, like white. Not all, I ain't all white, but I got some white right here. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not totally white, but I'm white right here, right? So Christ was totally white. His head and his hairs, right? Were what?
White like wool.
Go ahead.
As white as snow.
White as snow. Go ahead. Hold on. Bag up. White like what?
White as snow.
No.
It's like it. White like wool.
Like wool. Think about wool. It's only a few people on the earth that have the texture of wool for their hair. You being one of them. A lot of times sisters do what to their hair? They put that goddamn what is that stuff? That relaxer in there? It's called what? They put that goddamn perm in their hair. And they take them from a 4C. Is that what they call it? The kinky. That'll cut you if you put your hand in it too deep. Is it 4C? I think I'm saying it right. It's like a 4C. Like the real kinky nigga hair. Right. It's like a 4C or 4G or something like that, whatever they call it. Right, so that perm take you from a 4G to what? A Caucasian. Stringy. And that's what our people love. Right? But Christ rocked his nappy ass hair. So the hair of his head was white like wool. White the color, wool the texture. There's only one people on the earth that got woolly hair, and that's Negroes. All right? Keep going.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Uh-huh.
And his feet.
And what?
And his feet.
Now, I had a couple drinks. Like, if you really look at me closely, you'll see the whites of my eyes is a tint of red. All right? Just like every Negro that take a drink, the whites of his eyes turn red. All right? Keep going.
As if they...
Back up a little bit.
Sir.
And his eyes, what?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Go ahead.
And his feet.
And his what?
And his feet.
Hold on, y'all. No talking in my class. At least you stand in the goddamn corner. His eyes, what?
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
Go ahead.
And his feet.
And his feet. Go ahead.
Like unto fine brass.
Now, what is the color of brass? Anybody know? Brass. Think about brass. Like a what? Give me, like what?
A brown.
Like a brown color. That's absolutely correct. So his feet was like brown. Keep going.
as if they burned in a furnace.
Now, if you take brass and burn it in the furnace, what color would it become? Like, for instance, I always like showing people these candles up here. The majority of the heat is concentrated in the cone right here. And if you look at the inside of the cone, it's totally black. It's all blacked out. It's just been burned from all of the uses of this candle right here. Keep going. So if his feet is brass as if it had been burned in the furnace, what color is his face? That's right. His face is the same color. Christ was a nigger, just like all of us in this room. You know what I'm saying? Including the Ephraimite. The Ephraimite is a nigger as well. We all are niggas.
That's right.
Christ was a big black ass nigga that the Romans couldn't stand because he was trying to get niggas to change their perspectives on God. That's why they murdered him. Now, think about this. Ain't no white man gonna kill a white man that's raising the dead. That don't make no goddamn sense. No white man is gonna kill another white man that's raising the goddamn dead and healing the sick that come to save white people. No white man on the face of the earth gonna kill him.
Yeah, right.
Period. It makes no sense that to believe that Christ was anything other than you and I. So Christ was not a white man. He was a nigger. He looked like Zerah. You know what I'm saying? Mashah looked like myself.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Nappy-headed nigga out the tribe of Judah. All right. So what's your other question, sis? Or did you have any more? What was it? Any other questions? Go ahead, Zerah. Slok, hold on. Let me get to the sisters first. Did you have one? Ephraim, did you have one? You sure? Oh, you just looked up and to the right, which means you got something you want to say. You just don't want to say it. Do you have any question that you would like to ask pertaining to any topic whatsoever? We are live, yeah. What does it matter? You want to save it for private? Oh my God. Zerah, go ahead. Mashah, go ahead, please.
When we go live, I would like everybody to know, since I'm one of the producers, that the question is just asked. Nobody knows who you are or anything like that. It's like asking when you sit in the classroom, unless the teacher calls your name. It's like asking an anonymous question. So
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, like the sister may be concerned that are we live? If somebody don't know who it is.
But why? Being live or not is irrelevant. The point of the class is to answer questions as it relates to the Bible. Being live indicates something else is going on. Or not. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about being live or not. We record everything in the Israelite school in UBK. But the point of this class is to give information. Any sister or brother out there in the audience, we're going in overtime right now. They want a question asked or answered that they've been, juggling or faced with recently. This is the appropriate time to ask the question. Go ahead, sis.
What makes you unhealthy, I guess? Like, I think she said that when ladies are on their cycle, they're unclean. That's what right now, unhealthy.
Okay.
So what makes you unhealthy?
What makes you
unclean?
What makes you unclean?
Yeah.
Okay, so the unclean scriptures are those that pertain to a woman on her menstrual cycle, a man dealing with her on her menstrual cycle, handling anything that's unclean, right? If you could narrow it down, I could give you an answer. Like, if you ask me how long is a woman unclean after her menstrual cycle, I can answer that with the Bible. Because it's absolutely an unclean thing when you're on your menstrual cycle. And it's a good question is to ask, how long would you be unclean during your menstrual and thereafter? That's an excellent question.
Okay, so how long?
So the scripture, give me, who know the precept? For her, when woman is on the cycle. Who know that?
I can get it.
Go ahead.
One second. I'm grabbing it now,
It's Leviticus, the 15th chapter.
Give me that, please.
Come on, sir. Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood.
Right, meaning, like, an issue is always presented to something that come out the body. All right, chiefly blood. All right, if a woman have an issue and her issue be with blood, go ahead.
She shall be put apart 7 days.
She should be put apart how many days?
7 days.
7 days she'd be unclean. Keep going.
And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening.
You see that? So if a woman is unclean, right, meaning she's on her cycle, and you have any contact with her, whatever contact that might be, you unclean until the evening, meaning until you unclean until the sun go down, meaning the start of the next day. You see that? Hold on. She shall be unclean how many days?
7 days.
You see that? So say for instance your cycle lasts 4 days. Right? Your cycle lasts 4 days. Are you good the 5th day? Sister? Sister?
No.
According to the Bible, are you good, sister? No, you're not.
Why?
Read it again.
Leviticus 15 and 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days.
How many days?
7 days.
Go ahead.
And whosoever touches her shall be clean until the evening.
Shall be what?
Unclean, Salakia, until the evening.
Unclean until the evening. So you shall be put apart, meaning you're unclean 7 days. Meaning you get a break from that guy for 7 days. You ain't got to hear his shit. You ain't got to wash his clothes. You ain't got to have nothing to do with him for 7 whole days. Ain't that a beautiful thing? You could not ignore him for 7 whole days out the month. Lord is so beautiful in how he arranged things, right? Right, sister? Or you just want to give him hell? you just want to give him the rage of your PMS, right?
I mean, but no, 'cause
Right?
not everybody give hell. Most people just be want to just be held, like just be held, you know.
You want to be cuddled while you going through that? You're not an insatiable monster?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay. Okey-dokey.
It's sometimes, not all the time, but some women like the feeling.
But you know what?
to be around.
Let me tell you something right there about the difference between being born in America and being born in the culture of the Most High. Like for me, the first thing I think about, if women have to be put apart, I would establish a place that they would enjoy going to. It would be the goddamn, tell me some resort that you would like to see. That's what I would create in the kingdom of heaven for sisters. What? The what? I would make a Bahamas for sisters. Only for sisters that's on their cycle. You see what I'm saying? You get away from me for 7 days, you go to the Bahamas. That's what I would create in the kingdom of heaven. A place where you wouldn't feel like you know, like you feel when the scriptures say she shall be put apart, and somehow because of where we are, we consider that kind of like an offense, like like damn, is she nasty? Is she disgusting? The Lord made you like that. Obviously not. There's some other things that's going on that makes you not, ideal person to be around. You know what I mean? So you should want to be separated. And if you to be separated, you should go to a place where, man, you know, I would have the heathens be taking care of my sisters. You get your toes done, your nails done, and your hair done. That's 7 days in the Bahamas, your back rubbed. You know what I mean? It'd be a heathen of nursing the kids right there. All the food that you want to eat. That's what I would establish in the kingdom for sisters. Don't, like right now, we don't have a lot. So, you know, when you hear set apart or separated, you think like, damn, I'm just some discarded piece of whatever. But in the kingdom of heaven, I personally want to make sure that all sisters that's on a menstrual cycle enjoy that experience to the fullest. You have slaves that if they get out of order, I'm personally coming and beating the backs off of them and busting their skin open. So I don't go ahead, Dr. Rock.
So just to add on to that, the separate part could be like because of blood, an issue with blood, it could cause, you know, certain diseases, anything like that, just something in that sort. That's why it's good for the sister to be a part, you know what I'm saying, for the nation of Israel, so that nobody could get infected, you know what I'm saying, or anything because of the issue with blood.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Sisters don't want to hear that shit right there. That's the part that makes them offended. Because it's like, you know, what you think I'm gonna just be, you know, smearing the blood on every doorknob? You see what I'm saying? That's the part that I don't even like going into. Even though that it's a chance, but like we've been up under our mothers and our sisters and our aunties all our lives. How many of us caught something from our sisters on her period? I think it's more that goddamn raging monster that the Lord want not you to experience. Some of these women get on their goddamn period, motherfucker, and you cannot have a conversation with them.
Right. Damn right.
I tend to believe it's more of that than, you know, a little drop of blood some goddamn way. That half of you niggas eating anyway. You know what I'm saying? Half of y'all going up in that anyway. I don't think it's that blood. I think it's that raging beast on that woman that the Lord don't want you to have to contend with. So He give you a reprieve. That's my personal opinion. I gotta ask that question higher up. I don't think it's the menstrual cycle. I ain't never got sick because my mama or my sister or my auntie or my wife was on their period. But goddamn, that attitude that bitch got will run any man the fuck out the door. Go ahead, please.
Like it, sir. I remember just being in school, 6th, 7th grade, and I remember how mean, you know, the girls would be, man. And I gotta go to the bathroom. I'd be like, why this always get to go to the bathroom? I asked to go to the bathroom. Teacher say no, but she letting the girls go anytime they ask. So I'm like, and they was just so mean.
Yeah.
Telling them every goddamn thing.
Come on.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold nobody up. Y'all can shoot your big dog. Y'all going to Come on, I ain't going nowhere right now.
Shalom.
Shalom, sister. I'll see you. You on your period?
No.
You just come off of it?
Blah.
You about to come on it?
Blah.
Okay, goddamn. We still live? Go ahead and kill that live feed, dog.